Welcome to Smart Branding, a podcast dedicated to branding, naming, and domain names. I'm Tatiana Bonneau, and with my guests, we try to help you create and grow strong, memorable, and meaningful brands online. I believe time is one of our most precious assets, and so I want to thank you in advance if you decide to spend the next 30 minutes with us. I promise to do my best to make those worth it. Let's go! So my guest today is Bogomil Stoev. He's an entrepreneur with over 15 years of experience, 2 exits, currently working on Commenter AI, a platform that streamlines your comment generating process. Welcome, Bogomil. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you very much for having me, Tatiana. It's a big pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. Let's start with some background. Give me a bit of an idea of who you are and how did you get to Commenter AI?
Okay, so like you mentioned, for the last 15 years, I have been trying all types of businesses, digital type of businesses. Like I have tried to be an affiliate marketer, content marketer to sell my digital products. Then I have been an e-commerce marketer and owner, of course, and thanks to that, I was able to build these 2 brands that you mentioned that I was able to exit after that. I was also able to build one brand for Himalayan salt lamps in United States for 6 months to 7 figures, actually. But because of some issues with my partner, we had to stop the project. And after that, like in the end of the previous year, my current co-founder, he approached me with an idea to solve the problem that we both have, which is just working on LinkedIn and not commenting, posting from time to time, but not commenting. So it was the AI trend, actually, the big GPT AI trend was just starting. And like he had this brilliant idea of actually using AI to solve this issue. Like it sounded very easy in the beginning, but in the end, like we found out that there are some specifics that you can see from the first look, and you have to dig deeper in order to find like how you can actually help people to generate more effective comments with AI. And that's why like it took us approximately 6 months to develop the tool, and it has been live for approximately 4 months now. And like we're getting very interesting, very exciting feedback, I would say. And the future of comments, I think, looks brighter now.
Great. Before I get into what exactly does it do and how does it work, just a little focus on the naming. What was the naming process? What did you have like considerations to choose the name and the matching domain name?
Yeah, that's a great question. Absolutely. When from the first day, we have been thinking of the brand, like how the brand should look like, and of course the name and of course the domain, they are very much connected. So we wanted to make it in a way so it represents the brand in the best possible way. So we have tried different combinations of words, but none of them actually sounded very, very well. So in the end, we just stopped on this one word, commenter, because if you are commenting a lot on LinkedIn, you'll see people talking about commenters, who are the best commenters, what best commenters are doing, how to be a best commenter, and things like that. And while we have been researching the niche, we discovered that commenting and also commenter are the 2 most used words. So when you combine with the technology that we are using to help people to achieve their business goals with the comments, like it was not that hard choice, I would say.
Yeah, so you settled on Commenter AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and let's talk about. Sorry, yeah, I interrupted you.
No, it's good. You can proceed.
Okay, yeah. Tell me what does it do exactly, Commenter AI?
Yeah, so from the first look, it's just like a tool that is giving you ideas for comments that you can use as a foundation for your own comment. And there are different features that are helping you. So these comments sound more like you. So then you don't have to do a lot of work to change and edit the comment, because it's highly recommended to edit all of the comments, even though like a good amount of them sound very well, like sound written like a human, because this is one of our goals. But we always recommend people to edit their comments, because no AI can know their whole experience, knowledge, hacks, tips, tricks, and things like that. But the tool is just one part of that. The second part is actually the whole ecosystem that we have built around it, so we can help people to achieve the most with their comments, because some people, they just need a little bit of push to start commenting. Other need to be accountable in order to comment consistently. And we have been thinking a lot about that, how we can achieve that, so people can get the most out of their comments. And for example, one of the ways that we have found that doesn't need a human to help others to generate more comments is by adding gamification. So commenting can be also fun. The second thing, which I believe is something that makes us very, very different from our competitors, is that there is also a human part to that. And the human part is that we have a community where we actually share our knowledge that we have in the commenting. And this knowledge is changing almost every week, because there are new things that we discover in our commenting journey. And also, like, we give the opportunity to people to ask for feedback on their comments, ask their difficult questions about commenting, because you have this tool, but sometimes you are not sure if this should be your commenting strategy, if these are the right comments that you should use. And no AI can answer you that, because it just doesn't have this information. Even though like it has a billion points of data, we have tested many times, but it doesn't have it, because it's not in constant research about that. And this is what we do on a daily basis. And also, like, people have the opportunity to talk personally with me monthly and ask me their questions directly on a group call. So we can make it even more personal this way, and people can solve their personal issues, because again, no AI can solve your personal issues related to commenting. And like I said, sometimes it's just people need a small push, someone to give them this a little bit of motivation, so they can start commenting. And like when you start, it's just matter of let's say days to see the first results of your comments. And this is why we have decided to combine this great tool, which helps tremendously with the comments, but also this human part, so we can be sure that people achieve the most with their comments.
You mentioned comment strategy, and that's like, I have to say, a term that I hear for the first time. And we've spoken a lot, like I've had different guests about, marketing strategy, content strategy. That's the first time I hear like the term comment strategy. Whom is it for? Like, do you feel everybody can benefit from commenting on LinkedIn, or is there some specific industry or level of, like, who is it for?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think you are absolutely right. Like, people are talking about content strategy. If we just talk about LinkedIn, like, you will see posts everywhere from personal branding experts, coaches, consultants that are talking about the importance of content strategy, but not many of them are actually talking about commenting strategy. And since the beginning of my journey in commenting, I have started talking with a lot of these experts, and like almost all of them have some sort of a commenting strategy. They don't call it a commenting strategy, but they have some sort of a plan for their comments. And then I started talking more about that, and I noticed some other big names started doing that. And like, it seems that people have started realizing that content strategy without commenting strategy on LinkedIn is nothing. And actually, if you're just starting out, it's better to have a commenting strategy than a content strategy. So this may sound like controversial, but the reality is that if you're just starting out, no matter what is your goal, to grow your personal brand, to find your clients, to bring some brand awareness, or something along these lines. I'm not talking about the HR experts who are picking people for their companies, but this also would work for them. But for these first three categories that I just mentioned, I may have missed one or two, but when you're just starting out, like, you don't have many followers, right? You have a few friends here and there, family, and that's all. And this reduces your reach tremendously. So because of that, like, even if you're the best copywriter in the world, like, the chances of your content to achieve the most, or to at least get a good amount of impressions, is very, very slim, because you have like 20, 30 connections or less. And this is definitely not enough for a good reach on LinkedIn. At the same time, you should post only once every 24 hours. Otherwise, the next post will somehow affect the reach of the previous one. So it's good to post once, but you don't have any limits of the commenting. So you can comment as many times as you want, and this can actually lead to more followers and more impressions to your posts, because people will start noticing you and see that you exist. And like, by posting once per day, like, how much time do you think people will need to start noticing you, that you exist? But like, if, for example, you notice a great content from a top creator and the topic is very familiar to you, like, you can get noticed pretty quick by not only commenting once, but you can comment a few times if you want, and if you can share different perspectives on the same topic, but you can start replying to other commenters. And this way you'll be not only noticed by the top creator that has written the post, but also from others who are also interested in the same topic, and most probably can be your clients, can be your future partners, friends, or brand ambassadors. And like, you're achieving this only with your comments, and you have already posted, so you don't have any more opportunities for the day for a post, but nobody can stop you to comment. And this is just one post. Like, if you spend the whole day on LinkedIn, for example, with this this many posts that are constantly generated by different creators, like, how many opportunities you have for the day? Many. But if you stick only to content strategy, like, you are very, very much limited.
And also, as you're saying that, I'm thinking in a way, because you said you can start with that, or even it's recommended to start with commenting before you start generating your content. In a way, those comments can inform your content strategy, because you can judge from them what is interesting, what works, what do people want to hear, and what do people react to. So in a way, that can help you better shape your content strategy.
That's a really great point. Like, some of the big creators are actually saying something that I truly believe, and it is that the gold is hidden in the comment section of LinkedIn. It's not in the content section. And the reason being is the one that you just mentioned. Like, when you start having different discussions with your target audience in the comment section, you'll start seeing, like, what are the most common questions that they're asking. So you can make a content about that. You can see what are their struggles. You can make content about that. You can see what are their pain points. You can make content about that. You can see the words and the language that they use. Then you can use that for your content. And like you mentioned, when you have this information, there is a higher chance, even with your first post, you can hit a goal, like a home run. So it's much better to have this information. It's, let's say, part of your research strategy. But at the same time, you are putting your name out to the world. So people will start asking themselves, like, who is this guy? Who is this gal? Like, what is she doing here? Let me start following. Maybe there is something that she can share that I don't know. His comments or her comments are brilliant. Like, they're definitely hitting the nail. So I should connect with this person. Maybe we can work together. Maybe this is the person that I need for my business. And when you have a great profile, like, this is what you need: great comments with great profile to even start generating leads, or at least questions about your services and your background. And this is the beginning of your profitable journey on LinkedIn.
And does how to find the right posts to comment on? Does your tool help with that, or is that something people have to like handle on their own?
Yeah, so we have been thinking of actually implementing this, but there is a big problem. In order to make this happen, you need to use automation, and LinkedIn hates automation. So very, very fast, this tool will be destroyed by LinkedIn, or at least it will be blocked. So it will be useless. So it's more like a manual work. So, and at the same time, there are some specifics for every business and person that is hard, at least for now, to figure out, to put them all in a tool. Probably it's possible if you focus a lot of time on figuring this out, but at this stage, because of the big automation problem of LinkedIn, it's better to do it manually. So it's actually not that hard to do it. And in order to find the people that you need, you first need to have a commenting strategy. And the one that I recommend people to start with is to actually have a Google Sheet with 3 or 4 different types of people. The first one should be your target audience. The second one should be your top creators in the niche that you're targeting. The third one should be your competitors. And the fourth one could be people that you somehow see a benefit of connecting with. For example, people that have podcasts, like Tatiana, for example, people that are doing interviews on YouTube, or people that have connections with other people that you need. So you need these 4 categories. And then you need to find people for each of these categories, and then to split your time appropriately so you can cover all of them. So if you pick just 3 categories, the first 3 categories, for example, just to start out, just to start with something, you can split it in a way so you spend 60% of your time on your target audience, 30% on the big creators, and 10% on your competitors. And how you find them? Very easy. If you're just starting out, you don't have any connections, anything, you can just use the search bar and write some top names in your industry. If you know these names, like, I would be surprised that if you don't know these people in your industry, but if you don't know them, like, just search in Google, for example, try to start with that, or try using hashtags that are very much related to your industry or keywords, and then start searching for people that are regularly posting. This way you can regularly and consistently engage with these people, and regularly and consistently attract the attention on you when you are commenting under their posts. And then when you find even one person, let's say, who is your target audience, then most probably this person has connections with other people that are your target audience. And because of that, go to the comments section of this person, check the people that are commenting under his posts or her posts, and search for other people that are your target audience, that are the top creators in the niche, that are your competitors. And this is how you slowly build this list. Like, you don't need hundreds of people.
Mm.
You can start with, let's say, 20, 30 people all together in this list just in the beginning, and then slowly build it up. Because in the end of the day, like, it really depends on your goal on LinkedIn. But if you want to achieve the most with LinkedIn, of course, you need to comment more than 20, 30 times per day, like 20, 30 comments per day, I mean.
What you just described, like make the list, search for the relevant people, then interact with those people with relevant comments, that does sound like something that would take a lot of time. Like in terms of, from your experience, in terms of time, how long should one spend on that, let's say daily or weekly?
Yeah, so you are tremendously right. And that's why we have built actually our tool to help with the comments, because it takes a lot of time, especially when you're starting out. Like, writing comments is even harder than writing content. And this may sound contradictory, but it's only for those that haven't started commenting yet. The reason being is that when you're writing your own content, you know what you want to say, how to state it, what the topic of this post is, and you can write it, you can edit it after that. Like, you can edit it for weeks if you want. But with comments, you have to be quick. You have to show your point in few sentences, because the reality is that, like, you need to be a very, very, very great copywriter or storyteller in order to make someone to read like 20, 30 sentences long comment. That's why you need to learn how to describe your idea, concept in a few sentences, so you can pick the attention and then start the discussion, and then you can share your other ideas related to this topic, but at least to capture the attention. And for this, you need to write short comments, pretty short, I would say, but not like content long posts. Like, such type of comments, they work, but like, you need a lot of experience to be able to write them. And also, in order to write a comment, you need to like check the post, read it, get the context, get the idea behind that, get also what's the feeling that this person is trying to convey with it, and comment based on that. And because you're just starting out in the beginning, it may take you between 5 to 20 minutes to write even one comment. And if you have to write like 30 comments and they take you 10 minutes on average, like, these are 300 minutes. Like, who has 5 hours for writing comments? Of course, if your goal is to become a big star on LinkedIn, and you're going to offer your LinkedIn services, then it makes sense to spend 5 hours commenting, when you can just post once and you can comment as many times as you want. And this is why our tool is really beneficial, especially if you're starting out, because it's the assistant that helps you to write these short sentences and then use them to change the comment in a way that it sounds more like you, or it sounds more like showing your point of view, or in a way that represents your main principles and ideas. But in the beginning, this comment will have the value, the thing that will capture the attention. And this is the most important thing in the comment. When you figure this out, then with a few more sentences or with a change of a few words, then you can have a comment that will capture the attention of the person that you're targeting.
And before we go, because I think I'm aware we're close on time. We did talk a lot about like how your tool helps, and what people should do. What are some absolute like don't do? What do you feel, because you've been in that space for some time, and developing the tool, and you also mentioned something that I really like, the community where you talk to people and improve and change things as they actually use the tool. What are some common mistakes that you feel people make when it comes to commenting on LinkedIn?
Yeah, so one thing that I'll mention, which is very much related to tools like ours and also GPT, is that, and people hate actually, I mean, in the personal branding space at least, is copy pasting of AI generated comments. So like if you're going to use GPT to generate your comments and then copy and paste them, like don't do that. You're going to have a lot of people hating you, blocking you, reporting you, and things like that. So don't do that. Always edit your comments. That's the first thing. The second thing is that people are writing very short comments. This is very, very popular mistake. And when I say short, I mean short, like 1 word or 2 word comments, like nice, great post, nice post, agree, and things like that. We see them everywhere. Like this is a pure waste of time. Don't do them. If you can say anything, just don't say anything. People will not even notice you with such comment. The second thing, the third thing is that people prefer to always agree. Like they are afraid of actually sharing their real point of view behind that, just so they can be good, because the platform is very much full with people that are against negative comments and things like that. But the reality is that if you have a really good point of view and you have the facts to prove it, then comment in a respectful and kind way to show the other person that another point of view exists. And you'll be surprised that this can lead to amazing discussions and also opportunities. Because think about that. Sometimes the author of this post may not know this angle that you have in your mind. So this will enrich his experience and or her experience. So it will be beneficial as long as you do it in a proper way, like I said, in a kind and respectful way. The other thing that is a very big mistake is tagging a lot of people at the same time just to get attention. Like don't do that. If you're going to mention someone, do it in a meaningful way if this person will benefit. But if you're going to tag someone, make sure that it's not more like 1 or 2 people at most. Otherwise, it will look spammy and nobody will even notice that. And another mistake, which I would say is more like a hack than a mistake, is to comment only once. If there is a post from a person that you admire and the post is in topic that you have a lot of knowledge about, then make sure to comment and reply to other people's comments too. This way you can achieve the most from this post. So these are just some of the common things that I see. So people don't do this, like they comment once and then disappear. And the last thing that I'll mention, even though there are other mistakes too, is that if you're going to post content, always reply to your comments under your post, no matter if it is 1 or 20. This is how you build actually a real community on LinkedIn.
Great. Well, that's a great note to end on. And yeah, I think it's all of the things that you mentioned, I completely agree with, and I've very much experienced actually. It's funny, when ChatGPT started, it took really short time to start seeing those comments that you look at them and you know that's copy paste, and it's so annoying. So yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. Just don't do it, people. Like on comments on emails everywhere. It's a great tool, but it should be that. It should be a tool, and then you should use it as such and turn it into something that's still yours.
Absolutely, yeah. That's very, very important. And also GPT is not fine-tuned for comment generation. Keep this in mind. And it's not fine-tuned with comments. It's fine-tuned with information in internet. And believe me, there is not so much information about commenting on LinkedIn in the internet.
Wonderful. Well, that's been an absolute pleasure, Bogomil. I'm sure our audience will have a lot of useful takeaways. We'll include all the ways to reach you and as well as to Commenter AI and how people can benefit from it. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much for the great question. And I hope that we'll have another call soon.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us in this episode of Smart Branding Podcast. Feel free to visit smartbranding.com for more information and reach out if you have any suggestions, questions, ideas, or just want to learn more about how a good domain name strategy can help you build a strong and successful brand. See you next time.